We are conditioned to read the Quran as a timeline, a chronological sequence of events moving from the past into the present. However, the text's internal mechanics suggest a different geometry. Surah 39, verse 23, defines the text as a self-referential, closed-system topology. It functions as an operational physics engine, where information is neither created nor destroyed, but perpetually recirculated. This structure is an Eternal Memory Tesseract, a time-independent diagnostic engine. The data does not flow sequentially from point A to point B. It loops, folds, and cross-references itself within a closed set. Within this loop, you, the reader, occupy the central fixed coordinate. You are not moving through time. You are the point where time is measured. To maintain this, verse 6166 installs a strict firewall. It prohibits the use of external historical conjecture. Majority opinion and human assumption are blocked from defining the parameters of this system. Any valid framework for reality must be extracted entirely from within this closed matrix, relying on pure pattern recognition rather than external interpretation. From inside that matrix, a bipartite physics architecture emerges, the dual caustic universe, or the DCU. This schematic maps the two interacting fields of reality. On the right is the I9 field, the indeterministic, infinite, orbital wave state. It is continuous and fluid. On the left is the D10 field. This is the deterministic, bounded, physical particle state. It represents measurable action and physical resistance. Physical reality is the localized pressure vector generated where these two opposing states converge upon the reader at the central fulcrum. The digit 10 assigned to the deterministic field is an explicit, mathematically precise topological operator coded into the text. To understand how physical reality is bounded and eventually collapses, we must prove how this 10 operator seals open systems across the entire Quranic topology. The mathematical derivation begins at verse 7:142, describing Musa's covenant at the mountain. The text establishes a base interval of 30 nights. 30 nights represents an open count. It is a system in motion, lacking a terminal boundary to lock the register. To close that gap, the text introduces the mechanism of completion, the Arabic root ta, ma, ma. The verse explicitly triggers this completion through ashr, the number 10. The arithmetic is precise. The 30-unit base plus the 10-unit operator yields a 40-unit sealed miqat, or appointed time. 10 acts as the structural wedge that triggers this closure mechanism. In the deterministic field, 10 is the specific operator capable of sealing an open register into a bounded reality. We can test this operator by shifting from a local covenant to macro-physical duration. In verse 1825, the text measures the duration of the sleepers in the cave. Here, the text presents a multiplicative scaling of the identical 30-unit base. On the left is our additive closure. On the right is the cave duration of 300 years. Dividing the macro wheel of the cave's 300-year duration by the base interval of 30 isolates the exact same constant, 10. The verse adds plus 9 to the 300. This 9 remains separate from the division. It is the living I9 remainder, untouched by the D10 closure algorithm. The 10 performs the identical topological function regardless of the arithmetic mode. It is the universal seal for an open count. Surah 89 provides the semantic blueprint for this operator, isolating it from any specific narrative. The chapter opens with an oath. Verse 89:2 states, "Wa layalin ashr," by the 10 nights. The text swears by the operator in its raw mathematical form. Decoding an isolated operator requires pattern recognition, or aqil. Verse 89:5 immediately follows the oath, asking if there is a sign in this for someone of intellect. It explicitly licenses the structural reading of these nights. Surah 89 serves as the source code for the entire deterministic field. In verses 6 through 13, the D10 operator discharges destructively. It acts as a calculated closure against the transgressing systems of Ad, Thamud, and Pharaoh. Verse 21 scales the operator to its maximum. It executes a total repetitive grid collapse, dakan daka, pounding the entire physical plane into flat space. This is the deterministic terminus. When a closed D10 field exceeds its mathematical measure, the 10 operator forces a systemic collapse. In verses 27 through 30, the text shows the positive terminal output. A single particle cleanly escapes the crushed grid. This particle is the tranquil soul. It undergoes the irji, the return, moving back to a unified center, untouched by the physical destruction. The exact same mathematical operator that measures physical reality ultimately executes its total collapse and extracts the soul. A final geometric symmetry confirms this design. Surah 89 contains exactly 30 verses. The chapter's physical architecture mirrors the 30-unit mathematical base that birthed the operator. This demonstrates scale invariance. The phase inversion sequence, where physical structure decays while core content is preserved, executes at the microscale of individual decay and the macroscale of cosmic overturn. The mathematical lock between the formulas and the chapter's architecture points to a self-correcting structural recursion. This mathematical engine collapses inward to a single focal point. The entire system is an amanat, a trust. You, the reader, are the focal point it converges upon. We define this fulcrum by the coordinate 1912. It couples the eternal I9 wave, Surah 19, with the deterministic D10 field, Surah 12. This is the 1912 grip, taking the eternal wave and executing it through deterministic action. Time is an artifact of your own traversal. The text challenges you to reject the sleep of the physical matrix and apply rigorous pattern recognition to your reality. The arithmetic has locked into place. Activate the 1912 grip and take command of the Eternal Memory Tesseract.